Magic is just science unexplained. And this is very important because this can help us reframe or reorient the way that we look at ourselves and the world around us. We like to say that magic isn't real, magic is woo-woo, magic is just imagination or just for children or for movies or for fake charlatans trying to present themselves as magical when they're really not, they're just regular people, or those things are not magical. The ancient peoples, the shamans, the indigenous people, they're just primitive. It can easily be explained with science. But again, magic is just science unexplained. Everything can be explained logically and coherently when you have the full context. But you take an iPhone, well, I guess that's a bad example. You take an airplane and you bring it back to 500 BC, that's magic. All right? You take an iPhone, obviously go back there. You don't have service, but say for whatever reason you'd have service back then in 1000 BC, magic, absolute magic. You can talk, they would say it's a magical box. You take technology that would be existent in 10,000 AD. Let's say there's teleportation. Without knowing or understanding the mechanism, to us, that is perceived as magic. It is wow. Even thinking about how all this works. I mean, most of you, I'm assuming, don't understand how phones work, truly, how signals can move through space and time, how particles can pop in and out of existence wherever the fuck they go, who nobody knows, how they can become entangled. A lot of quantum mechanics, even to the physicists, is magic because the science and the logic and the math hasn't fully explained exactly everything that's going on there. There's some predictions and there's some understanding, but not a full understanding. This is why magic is real. And just because science hasn't explained it yet does not mean that it is impossible, like the placebo effect. The science has not fully been able to explain the placebo effect, so they just label it the placebo effect. The mind is affecting outcomes somehow. Mind is affecting or overcoming matter somehow. Your conscious states can affect you at the physiological level in ways that we would assume are impossible. Eventually, science will be able to explain it, and then it will be common knowledge, and they'll say, oh, the placebo effect, that's just this neurochemistry, or blah, 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 blah. Meditation, yoga, woo-woo, bullshit magic stuff 50 years ago. Cross over to the 21st century, and now meditation and yoga are scientifically backed. Fasting as well. These things were seen as just spiritual cuckoo bullshit. So it's time to think about what in the current day, in the current age, we're not going to go into what possibly is or what's not. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but it's for you to think about and contemplate on your own time as an autonomous, intelligent, sentient, free-willed spirit enjoying a human experience. It's time for you to contemplate and think about what in today's age do we deem as fake, as magic, as just a figment of people's imagination. Maybe certain trends or maybe certain, mass confessions or whatever it may be. Case studies is probably a better word. Interesting case studies of certain incredible synchronicities. Even synchronicity itself could be an example. What are certain things that the scientific community, that the modern Western institutions have deemed fake or magic, unsubstantiated, unscientific, but may eventually turn around because, again, 50 years ago, meditation, yoga, fasting, unscientific, spiritual, woo-woo bullshit, not necessary. Even the idea of germs, the concept of germs was magic, was crazy. Doctors were like, what, you're telling me that me dealing with dead bodies in the morgue and then me handling babies and helping women give birth, there's a connection there of why those women are dying? No, there's no invisible germs. You're crazy. And now that's common knowledge. It's been explained. But before that'd be magic. Oh, there's these tiny little objects, organisms that cause death that you get from those dead bodies. Again, from their respective magic. So we love to look back and think, oh my God, they're so primitive, they're so idiotic. How do they not know about germs? How do they not know about the subconscious mind? How do they not know how powerful and amazing yoga, meditation, fasting is? Those are actually legitimate sources. That's no way, but smoking actually is bad for your lungs. They had scientific studies that supported that smoking was actually good for you. That's a whole other thing about how science can be manipulated and utilized for institutional powers. It's far easier to fake a study or to orchestrate or design a study to support or even create a certain outcome, okay? And to align with a certain outcome. So these are things that need to be thought, contemplated, all right? Queried. But with this concept then, again, we love to look back and we like to say, science is explains everything now. We figured it all out, even though we haven't. But we figured it all out, and they're just primitives, and they didn't know about germs and whatever. That's the past. Well, what are we going to be looking at in the past relative to now, in the future, that we'll say, oh my God, I cannot believe they didn't know about this or that, right? This is up to you to think about. What is your current thing that you believe, that you think that there might be some validity there? There's a feeling, there's an inner knowing, there's an intuitive understanding, an intuitive download that says this is legitimate and this can actually positively change the world. This would actually be really important for people to understand on a mass level. There are things that we all inherently understand and know. We don't know how we know, but we just know it. Again, man, magic, intuition, magic. But yet people know things and you will understand things and it can be eventually explained scientifically, but maybe not today. But that doesn't make it illegitimate. Germs still existed before science could explain it. Meditation and yoga and fasting were still helpful and beneficial even before science gave it its stamp of approval. Okay? So what today is deemed as magic and fake? Whether it be telepathy, synchronicities, right? Intuition in general, manifestation, timeline jumping, right? Astral projection, near-death experiences, connections to other entities in the spirit realm, the psychedelic realm, the entities that you encounter. Maybe that's magic, maybe that's fake, maybe it's not. Maybe there'll be a scientific explanation for those things in the future. But just because there isn't one today doesn't mean that it will never be in the future as well. And it's not to say to not use your discernment and to be mindful of charlatans and people faking things and manipulating things. Astrology is another example too. Tarot, divination systems, perhaps there'll be more scientific explanations of those as well, rooted in synchronicity is my guess. Things to think about. It's amazing how incredible and deep the world truly is. Existence itself truly is. I mean, we live in an infinite universe full of infinite logically coherent possibilities. So of course there has to be some magic, some things that we haven't explained that actually will have an explanation in the future. And if you resonated with that message, I appreciate you. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next video tomorrow. Thank you.